There's three main reasons I decided to go gray. The time, the money, and the other costs, which I'll get into later in this video. My name is Geraldine, and today I'm talking about my hair. The more I sat in that chair, the more I felt like dyeing my hair was a lie. Because I was curious about going gray and I couldn't get myself to do it. I really felt that I was convinced that I was going to make less money. I mean, who was I doing this for after all? Going and spending money and time sitting in this chair, dyeing my hair for my boss, my coworkers, my friends, my family. It was kind of weird and it was making me feel like, who the heck am I? I felt like people were gonna look at me like I was crazy. The reason I didn't go gray for so long, I was convinced that I was essentially taking myself out of the game of life if I intentionally made myself look older. So the irony is that I feel like now that I've gone through this process, I actually look a little bit younger and it's working for me in that way. So, surprise. So all the reasons I didn't do it sooner were for other people. First time I made this decision and I dyed my hair with low lights and highlights, and actually the woman I found was in a little salon in the West Village in New York City. I'll link that below. She was great. She was from Austin, Texas. She did a phenomenal job. It would have been like the perfect moment to just grow out my hair, and that's what I would recommend as like the top choice. If you have the money to just pull the trigger on that, that's probably the least difficult way to do it. And then I'll talk about 4 other ways you can do it, which I've tried most of them, but I wavered. I was unsure about my choice to do it and why I was doing it, and the doubt started to creep in. Then I started to like add like a streak here or there of bleach, and I ended up dyeing my hair like platinum blonde, which really didn't work for me and my coloring. I eventually dyed my hair brown again. It took me a long time, and that I was dyeing my hair for other people, and it became more and more uncomfortable because ultimately I kind of felt like it was a little bit of a self-betrayal, that I couldn't even really give myself permission to explore if I wanted this for myself or not. So, you know, I would ask friends and family and they would say like, why would you want to do that? You're just adding on like 20 years. The funny thing is I actually feel like I look younger with silver hair because I feel like it balances my skin tones. So I'm ultimately, I'm like really happy that I did it, and I feel it's part of like the changes that are happening. The more comfortable I am with my choices in life, then the more confident I feel, and the more confident I feel, then that's how I'm perceived. Not so much about what color I'm dyeing my hair. And I'm all for a good lie because I think if fabrication makes you feel beautiful and like a queen, then you should go for that. For me, I wanted to explore this other aspect, and who knows, maybe that'll change. So basically there's 5 ways that I can think of to go gray, and all of them have like the pain points, right? So pick your poison. Number one, you could cover it, right? So that means getting a wig, not my favorite, because you'll have the wig and then like what will you use the wig for, right? So in that umbrella of cover it, you could get a scarf and glasses and just embrace the Jackie O, I'm getting in my convertible look, and do that for like 4 or 5 months or however long it takes to grow your hair in, your signature look for that season. The number two is the skunk method. You have to deal with the demarcation line, and if you have brown hair, that's kind of difficult, but I would suggest if you're going to go with this method that you just invest a little bit more in blow drying or styling your hair in a fun way, like braids, or to experiment and just like have fun. Pigtails, eventually it grows out. Hair grows. Number three, you could shave it. So this is probably extreme, but I feel like if you have a good head, then, and it's like smooth, then it should just like feel your head, and then you'll just need to deal with growing it in, right? So some people can really pull off this look and it looks absolutely amazing. So you could go with like a little less extreme and do like the pixie cut, which is really cute on a lot of people, and just get some earrings and try some different shades of lipstick and just embrace it. You know, it's hard to do this, and I think if you just kind of like get into it, then it makes it easier. So the fourth is to dye it completely and go to like a pro who really knows what they're doing. I'll list 2 salons, one in LA and one in New York. It's the quickest way to get to the changes possible. You could have some variations with how your hair is growing in, but it won't be quite as dramatic as the skunk demarcation line. So the other method, okay, I'm gonna take my hair out for this. Number 5, the other method is the dye strip method. Basically, you're gonna take a chunk on this kind of like a side and dye this completely dark, like either brown or whatever your, I almost said your natural color. You're gonna take a strip like this and dye it brown. Then you're gonna divide it and then put it to the side, split it on the side, and then do a side part so that the brown hair is covering the silver hair. Once your silver starts coming in, you can take your hair and flip it. It doesn't really work if you have bangs, but you can take your hair and flip it to the other side, and then the silver will be covering the other side. So you get the idea. I hope it helps you get a little closer to making a decision about joining the Silver Fox Club. I personally am really happy I did it, and who knows, you could have like really amazing results and end up loving your hair and be free of sitting in the chair and wishing you had gotten that 2 hours back. It reminds me of a movie that I saw once. If you've ever seen Open Water, then you might relate. Okay, so that's the story. I just feel like having silver hair is kind of an accessory in itself. Like, check it out. It kind of becomes like an additional accessory, right? So like now when I put on my glasses, it's sort of like, it makes a whole ensemble, right? It just like adds a little je ne sais quoi. Like, I don't really need much more than this to create a look. Like, I could just wear like all navy, have my hair this color, and maybe have some, I don't know, like pink cowboy boots, or, you know, just like add another color a bag or something, and then I'm pretty much done.